So we are here to discuss our thoughts on the new ban list. Basically, well, my thoughts into you guys. And real quick, because everyone's been asking for live streams and everything, down in the comment section there'll be a link. I'm actually going to be live streaming like Halo 5 on the gaming council stuff. I have to get the Yu-Gi-Oh! Council stuff back up. Gotta work on some new decks. So if you want to support the gaming council, you could do that. It's our baby. Put it that way, it's our baby. What the fuck was Konami doing in secrecy? Why couldn't they just tell us November 9th? Why couldn't they just tell us we're going to give you a list? I don't understand Konami at times. I don't understand their plot, their plotting or whatever the fuck you want to call it. My head hurts from even looking at this list. There's a lot of what the fucks, and there's a lot of things that honestly, it just, I'm going to say this again, it feels more and more like we're going to the OCG list, and we should just jump ships and go there. Seriously. It would be better. Not all of it, but a good chunk of it would be a lot better. Some things are still healthier out there than they are here. So, towers. Okay, cleave forward to dead at that point. Well, the towers turbo deck, but to hit scout on top of it, I think was overkill in all honesty. And then we come to Shuret, Strategist, and Necrots. I believe that was fair. I know Necrots players are going to hate me, but I believe it was fair. Construct, again, the Construct Limited would have been enough, but they banned it, and they banned it, the El Shadal Fusion. Exciton Knight, this is still, like, it's an out to the Pendulums. That's pretty much the only reason they hit it, is the fact that instead of running Fairy Wind and having Fairy Wind be a dead draw, or having this or that be a dead draw outside of Wavering Eyes for mirror matches, let's hit Exciton Knight. We're not going to burn back Heavy Storm or Harpy's Feather Duster. That stops Pendulums. We want to push Pendulums through the roof. You play Pendulums or you go home. Well, I'm not going to play Pendulums, so take that, Konami. I probably won't buy your product either. Yeah. Exciton Knight is still pretty much, that's the only reason I can really think about it, is that it was good for the game because it punished players who set everything on the board, special summon everything. It gave you a way to fight back, and you couldn't OTK from it. That was the beauty of it. You had to have less advantage and everything. And I feel Exciton Knight is, like Lava Lull Chain, is it's an injustice that's even on the list. But that's Konami for you. They don't want you having outs to anything. Cleaford Scout, again, I feel that was overkill. Leaving it at 2 with Towers Ban would have been perfect. The deck would have been great. It would have been a lot slower. You can't go Towers. You can't tribute out for Towers. It would have been fine. Overkill. Graph and Sir. Graph being limited, Sir being hit. I think it was just. They still live. So, to an extent, they still live. Mathematician. I don't know why Konami hit Mathematician. I can't really come to an assumption or an idea or hypothesis why that Mathematician is now on the TCG ban list. What meta deck really used it? Oh wait, there was Burning Abyss. I mean, I guess Burning Abyss, but they can run without it, so it's kind of, what the fuck, Konami? It's pointless. I don't get why. It hits more decks than it helps. Necrots of Brio, again, that's fine. Necrots of Unicorn needed to happen. Ritual Beast Conahawk. I think it should have been left alone, because the deck's pretty much going to be power creeped out. It would have been a good deck. It would have just been power creeped out. I mean, I feel like this is just a slap on the wrist for Ritual Beast, just so that way they can't top over the next couple of weeks before we go into, like, January's lists. It's probably going to be like a 2-month list. That's pretty much what we're going to see. And then El Shadal Fusion, which, okay, but you have contract up here. I think it's a little overkill. Maybe 1-1, but 1-0, that's overkill. I think we all agree on that. I think I skipped ahead here. Did I skip ahead? They need to put limited up here. Anyway, moving on, we have Reinforcements of the Army at 1. My head hurts looking at Reinforcements of the Army at 1. Hits more decks than it is supposed to, and I find it stupid. And I'm actually going to discuss why. Here's the thing. Konami's pretty much hitting any deck in OCG that wants to top. Heroes being the primary target here from what it seems. again, from what it seems, they'll use the scapegoat that, oh, it was the Tellarknights winning Worlds, and this was the best hit we could have done. You could have hit the Neb at 1, and you would have been fine. Or hell, you could have hit one of their Exceeds, and been fine. Or you could just leave the deck alone, and been fine. But you had to hit Rhoda. Because you're scared of heroes topping when your precious pendulums top. Okay. Okay, Konami. Okay, I see your game. You can't get shit through me. I see it. I see it. Sir, also hit. I just commented briefly about it. No Dragon Ravine to 3. No Raigeki ban. I feel Raigeki should have been the one ban, not Exciton Knight. But because Raigeki is kind of one of those, if you're not playing a Pendulum deck, it hurts more than anything. And, yeah, I just feel Dragon Ravine should be at 3. Raigeki ban would have been better than pretty much what we were given. I mean, don't get me wrong, Chaos Whisperer at 3, that's fun, that's great. I get more outs in my Chaos deck if I get special. Sheehan at 3, cool for the 6 Samurai players, really not the card that they need. Spellbook of Fate, this is great for Spellbook players. It's pretty much, I think that's the only thing you guys had on the list outside of the broke shit. And that's not really broke, that's doable, so I'm fine with that. And then Gear, again, I'm fine with that because it's really not an issue. But I don't know exactly how I feel about this list as a whole. And, you know, going card by card and taking the time to discuss it, I feel like Konami just slapped this together. And I hate to sound that way because it looks like they just... if you've ever been... you ever had someone cheat on you, you know, like cheat off your test and they like look over, you know what I'm talking about, just in general. They'll look over and they'll scribble down some shit and they'll be like, hey, what you got for like number 5? That's what it feels Konami has done. Maybe I'm inaccurate for saying that, and I will retract the statement if I am. I will come back on YouTube, make another video, and say I was wrong. You know, I'll say it right at the beginning of the video. I was wrong for, you know, thinking this was the reason. I personally believe that this is the reason why, because Konami just wants to half-ass shit because we just kept bothering them. And I'll be the first one to say on Twitter, when they were posting links on Twitter, I said, ban lists? Because that's what's more important, is keeping the game as a whole instead of just pushing product alone. You gotta keep both. You can't just do one or the other. Both have to come. And if it comes off as a rant, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to. The other thing, I feel it's a missed opportunity is Dark Magician and Chaos. With the errata, because of the Yu-Gi deck that's coming out, they could put it in. BLS is in that shit. It's common. So Dark Magician and Chaos would have been a good fit. Taking it off the ban list, clear that up, put it at 1, see what goes, and copy OCG just a little bit more, Konami, just a little bit more. Hey, while we're at it, bring back Stratos too. Nah, I'm okay where Stratos is. And about the Rotas, I have the E-Call, so I'm okay. And for my sync runs, I have tunings in the one Rota. I'm pretty sure I have 2 slots for something else now that I'll figure out in the coming days. But this list honestly feels so half-assed. It looks like... the good standpoint is they hit meta decks that needed to be hit that were around for a year outside of Necralt. Necralts just needed to be hit to be hit. To be fair, they did. It was getting a little out of control. When the deck's too good, it needed the hit. So Tellarknights, honestly, I feel it was the player piloting the deck and not just the deck winning Worlds. I feel it was just not a fluke, but I feel the player knew what he was doing. It was like Halo, when I mentioned about Halo, you know, having this close skill gap where you have to be very good on the top, you know, top weaponry or whatever to get into it. It's pretty much how I feel about this. So I am all for that. Tellarknights didn't really need a hit, but neither did Rhoda. Rhoda hits more decks, you know, it's like you're hitting more decks than you're helping. And same with Mathematician. Stop hitting those 2 cards. Don't hit Exciton Knight. And this list would have been 10 times better. Dark Magician and Chaos would have been a perfect time to come back, promote it in the Yu-Gi thing, because this doesn't go into effect until November the 9th, when it is right before then, so people have a chance to sell their old copies and at the same time get new ones with the errata. I think that's a thing that you could have done, but you're Konami, and you don't have brain cells apparently anymore. I feel like we went in this expecting certain things. We got what we expected, and then we got the what the fuck were they thinking hits, which Conahawk, Rhoda, Mathematician, a lack of DMOC for me personally, lack of Raigeki again, because Raigeki is one of those things that I just feel doesn't add skill into the game. If you're playing Pendulums, you're not affected by it, because hey, as long as I don't get OTK, I'm alright. But if you're not running Pendulums, poop. It's kind of the thing. I don't know how you guys personally feel about it. I haven't, like the video just went up. I'm like checking it on my phone, seeing what you guys are saying, see if there's any comments yet. Oh, there are 6 comments on the video. So, let's see. Only took them 2.5 years. Not Rhoda hit again. I like this list, but I play Yang Zing. All the troublesome cards are gone. And goodbye, Rhoda. You were good. There goes my UA's rip. See what I mean, Konami? You hit the lower tier decks more than you hit the higher tier decks. Or you kind of did a balance, but still. Again, I don't know exactly how all of you feel, so make sure to sound off in the comments below. And check out the videos and the annotations. I personally don't like this list at all. Like, I like what they hit with the meta. Some of the hits, you know, some of the stuff coming off is good. It feels like there should have been more. This is like, it's kind of like getting half the game and not the full fucking game, and then having to pay more to get the rest of the game. That's kind of how it feels to me. If I wanted to play OCG, I go to OCG. Just saying. But that's